Yeah. Yeah. Come and never sleep on me. Eyes on my chain 숙여 너의 고개를 what you looking at fool 너의 눈 허리 멍청했고 find your comfort from another yeah I go low like undercover yeah wanna know my name 죽지 않은 일은 위에 부어버려 기름 guess you can even guess me cause I'm baby high low로 확실해 not like maybe Devil let me welcome to my palace 찾지 않아 Alice you just keep on wonder You just keep on wonder 찾지 않아 Alice 버려 너의 memory I just pop a bin Danny have been 나는 걸어 Boeing 747 날개 위
Welcome back, everybody. It's good to see y'all. So, of course, this is For Your Ears Only, a Bondcast, and this time we're doing Die Another Day, the last of the classic era and the last for our boy Pierce Brosnan. Before we get into this, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. You know, most of the people that listen to this aren't even subscribed, all right? So give us a subscribe, all right? So,
are you serious?
Yeah.
What are y'all doing?
I know it's one.
Subscribe.
Anyway, so guys, I'm gonna ask you first, Caleb. What did you think about the movie?
I thought it was a terrible movie, and I mean that. I'm not being funny. I think this is an awful movie with some pretty great moments, and we'll get into that.
Colton?
I think this is a pretty good film, especially for some of the James Bond movies. I think it just has a lot of older elements to it from a lot of the older films. Like, I feel like it takes a lot from Dalton and Moore and some Connery aspects. I feel like this movie is like a melting pot of all the James Bonds, and even a lot of Flemingisms from the book. So, like, well, not the book this movie's based off of, but like the movie you told me this book takes from, which is Moonraker, and it does because I remember. I like a lot of this movie, and I was surprised honestly because like the last time I watched it, I thought it was kind of meh. So I think it's just the context for me.
So
I want to say this before we get started. To this movie's benefit, or to its credit, this is more interesting to me than The World Is Not Enough and Tomorrow Never Dies. Even though it's stupid, it's like some of the plot elements in this movie are absolutely brain dead. With that being said, it's hard not to watch, like a train wreck.
Yeah. So I feel like this movie is by far the movie that I came the farthest with. For years, guys, like I feel like I didn't even count this as an actual Bond movie. Like, I mean, I remember having to remind myself that this was indeed a movie, and Brosnan's tenure did not stop at The World Is Not Enough. But this was the first Bond movie I ever saw in theaters. I saw it with Skeeter. Me, him, and his grandmother went and saw Die Another Day in like 2002 at the theater in Savannah. And to be honest with y'all, I wasn't too hot about it even as a little boy. I remember a lot of people liking it. I remember a lot of people around Savannah saying that it was a good movie. I don't know. Whenever I watched it, I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit too, I guess, balls to the wall, you know?
Far-fetched.
Yeah, far-fetched, even as a little boy. But now, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think did it, because like now I will say, I mean, I happen to really like this movie. I think that it took No Time to Die coming out to make me reevaluate this movie. I mean, guys, I would put this over No Time to Die any day of the week. Give me Die Another Day any day. Like I would rather have it.
You know what? It's complicated. It really is. But I agree with that. Even though I don't like this movie.
Well, and like I don't want that to be like, I don't want people to think that I hate No Time to Die. I don't hate it. Actually, that's the one that really had the most to do with. I mean, of all the ones that's come out, I mean, I flew to California to see it at the Chinese theater. I mean, like
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff for No Time to Die. It's it's a movie that's close to my heart. I mean, I have a poster of it right here behind me.
Bet you do.
But this movie to me does it encapsulates what James Bond is. This movie, and like there's one part of the movie that I just love, and I think about it whenever I think about just like how James Bond would be, is that part when like they just get to the ice palace and Toby Stevens, Gustav Graves comes up and he had just got done riding the little car, the ice racer car, and
Yeah.
and like what was it like? He told Bond was like, "Well, you can sleep when you're gone," or something like that. And Bond says, "I'd rather not go at all." I just think that like that is
Yeah.
James Bond right there. It's like, you know what? I don't have to die. I'm just so badass. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna cheat death all the time. Like
He
I
shouldn't.
that.
He's timeless.
Yeah. But no, but like I do feel like I've come a long ways um on this movie. And I mean, today I could happily say that I do enjoy Die Another Day. One thing I do want to say, the book that this movie takes after is it's the book Moonraker, which is commonly said to be the best Fleming book. But literally, this movie takes quite a bit. I mean, there is more of the novel Moonraker in Die Another Day than there is in the movie Moonraker.
It's true.
Um, so I mean, Caleb, have you read Moonraker?
I think I have. I don't think I finished it. Maybe I started it. I think I started reading it there toward the end of my high school career. And I graduated before I got done reading it. And after I graduated, I had no use for books. So,
What book is?
pretty much.
so have you guys read Colonel Sun?
No.
Okay, well, the bad guy in Colonel Sun, who is Colonel Sun, the titular Colonel Sun, um, the bad guy in this movie, Gustav Graves, also his real name is what is it? Something Moon is his name, and they got Colonel Sun. They just switched it to Moon.
Yeah, in the movie, I'm pretty sure he's just referred to as Colonel Moon.
Yeah. But that being said, so let's go ahead and let's start talking about this movie. So right from the start, we get the gun barrel sequence where we get a CGI bullet shot down the gun barrel. So pretty much what they're saying is James Bond could literally shoot a bullet down another gun's barrel. What? And I will say this, it is, I mean, I guess it's rather cute, but at the same time, it's really tacky, I think. Like, I really do.
So, all right. I won't say too much about this, but I always took the gun barrel as like a metaphor of some kind. I don't get it, but the way you put it, you would have to you'd have to know for a fact that the gun barrel that you are shooting into is a higher caliber.
Yeah.
To start with, and then pray and hope that you shoot the bullet down the center of said gun barrel. But no, they took a perfect gun barrel and they soiled it.
Yeah.
Soiled it.
Yeah.
Soiled it.
Yeah, like I totally got the SpongeBob reference there, boys.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good. But
I would just like to say that, like, okay, with all the things we've seen James Bond do, it's not beyond the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, you do
it's
have
actually one of the more practical things James Bond
I'll give you that.
potentially do.
I'll give you that.
Like, so it's like in archery, like whenever I don't know what it's called.
It's called Robin Hooding.
Okay,
actually,
okay.
Yeah.
I've seen my dad do that, like in person. So like I know it's a possibility. It's just not a very common thing, like around normal people. I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure there are people that are good at archery that can do it all the time, but
Right. Okay. Well, since
like people like your dad and James Bond, put Aaron right in there with you.
well,
okay,
thank you. I'll tell my dad you said that, John.
let me poke a hole in your theory real quick. So we're assuming since in all of these gun barrels, after Bond shoots, we see blood come down over the screen. So we're assuming that this is a guy holding a gun. We're looking at it from his gun's perspective. Okay.
Sure.
So that's a moving target,
Yeah.
and Bond just so happens to fire a bullet straight down. No. Okay, I'm kidding around.
Just look at Dukes of Hazzard, man. They were like strapping dynamite to bow and arrows, like killing folks.
Okay,
That didn't kill them, but killed.
you just wait till we start reviewing the Dukes of Hazzard on here.
Oh my God!
So,
You thought we went hard on models and miniatures, man?
For real.
From the movie, we get some surfing. What did y'all think about the surfing?
Needs more Beach Boys. Where do the other guys come from?
I guess just in the I don't know, like they just appear out of nowhere.
Like literally, like the editing there is not great. Like they just
it's not clear.
appear.
Yeah. Merman.
I have to say this movie, and I know that I know Lee Tamahori, the guy that did this movie, directed it. I know he went on to do Triple X State of the Union, but my God, this movie reminds me so much of the Vin Diesel Triple X movie. Like
Are you serious?
Yes, Lee Tamahori.
That makes so much sense.
Like, it's just crazy how much this movie reminds me of Triple X. We get Bond coming up. They're surfing, which of course, at the time, this is like 2002. I guess surfing was just all the rage. They had the TV show Rocket Power and all that. It's.
Wait, what is that? No, it was this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hey, woogity
Wiggity.
But
that's how we should end the podcast.
But
right here, okay.
Bye, guys.
So, I had to say, I do like quite a bit of this first part. They intercept the helicopter. Bond's wearing the same clothes as the guy, and I just love the way he takes the dude's glasses and puts them on.
Yeah,
and
super asshole move. I think it's great.
Yeah, I love it. He shows up at the North Korean colonel's base, and he's got all those Western sports cars out there. You could tell this guy, he's a hypocrite, because he's a communist, but at the same time, he's got all this capitalistic, loot out here.
He's a very material person.
Yes. I'm going to tell you, whenever I was a kid, there was a few things that were just so undeniably cool. One of them is a jetpack. And of course, that's in another Bond movie. Hovercraft. Man, I thought these flipping hovercrafts were I still do. I'm going to get me a model of one of them for the bar. But man, love the hovercraft.
Dude, not to jump the timeline, there are a lot of cool and interesting vehicles in this movie. Super, super cool. It's got a lot of cool gadget and vehicles. And this movie is chock full of interesting things.
It really is. I love this whole opening sequence, and I love what Jonathan mentioned. I like seeing Bond go undercover.
Yeah.
He shows up like this, to go undercover. He's dressed for the occasion, and steals the guy's glasses, and we get to see him planting the C4 and the diamonds. And I love all of it.
We get a signature Brosnan line when he says, "Don't blow it all at once," and of course they figure out who it is, and of course we later on figure out who actually is the one that tips them off to who Bond is. We get to figure out who that traitor is later on in the movie. Well, of course they're going to kill Bond, but he has his last ditch thing that he can do, which is of course blow the diamonds up, giving Zhao some expensive facial surgery right there on the spot. And leading up to one of my favorite parts, and I just love this hovercraft sequence. I love the way, like, I just like the way Pierce Brosnan is just blind firing with the Mac 10. I think it's either a Mac 10 or a Mac 11. He's just blind firing with it, trying to hit one of those mines. And
I
like,
was gonna say that like him shooting the mines was such a James Bond thing to do.
yes,
And before I forget, I want you to continue. But I think this is the most Brosnan has ever looked like James Bond. He looks great. I think a little age suits him very well, especially for this. I guess for the role of Bond.
I mean, I'm gonna be straight with you, dude. Like Brosnan, in my opinion, could still do James Bond. I don't care.
Sure.
Years old,
Yeah.
he could still
But
do
he's killing, dude. He is killing it in this movie.
So
I think we mentioned it. Oh, sorry. I mentioned it last episode. I was like, Brosnan is not the problem with this movie. He's not. He's great in this. I think this might be his best performance as Bond.
So Pierce Brosnan in general, still to this day in 2024, I could watch that man watch paint dry.
He's so awesome, man.
He turns in. Say what you will about like comic book movies and whatnot. Say what you will about Black Adam. His performance in Black Adam, like he did most of that, like in like a CGI like mocap suit. He kills it. Like dude is on like a whole nother level acting. Like again, say what you will about that movie. He was fantastic in it. Like I would like go watch him play James Bond again tomorrow in
Yes,
a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'd call off work tomorrow. They could find somebody else to open the store.
So
Dude,
I
we
don't
would drive
know.
to the Chinese theater.
Yes,
I don't know how true this is, but apparently after this movie, while the Bond series was in a bit of a hiatus, uh, Quentin Tarantino expressed interest in directing a Bond movie, and
Casino Royale.
yeah, and of course, he wanted to do a period piece, but he had to have Brosnan. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It is a shame we never got that. Maybe don't take that and run with it and make that the series from now on. But like as a one-off, dude, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. Like one of the things I like to do, and this is probably some of the nerdiest stuff you'll ever hear, but I like to like find the unused scripts of Bond movies, and like read them and see how different they are. Dude, I would love to see if Quentin Tarantino did come up for a script for Casino Royale, I would love to see what it was. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yes.
That's like a holy grail thing for me is Quentin Tarantino's script, which I don't even know. He might not even came up with one. It might just be like in his mind, he came up with the idea, but man, I would love to read that script.
Man,
I think they should just make that movie. Like, what have they got to lose?
right. Kind of like how Marvel has that what if series.
Yes.
They could do it animated, just like the What If series. You realize how cheap it'd be to make an animated Bond film?
Look, if that's like all like if that is the only way we could get that, then sure. But if it's going to be like a feature length movie, I would rather it be live action. But
I would rather it be live action too. But just look what Sony does with the animated Spider-Man films.
Good point. That is a really good point. Yeah, I hate to even talk about this without having my facts straight, but I want to say that like he actually talked to Brosnan about it. I don't know if it was about doing it or if he was just like, "Hey Pierce, I had this really crazy idea one time," and Pierce was probably like, "Get away from me, weirdo." But
stop touching my feet, Quentin.
Well, he's not Salma Hayek, so I mean,
I'm kidding.
But yeah, it would have been really cool. But yeah, back to the hovercraft chase. Sorry about that. But I love this scene. Yeah, it's done really well.
He is so cool here. Like he is like like Jonathan said, balls to the wall. This movie staples them to the wall at the beginning of the movie, and they stay there the whole time.
So, what was I? Man, I just had something I wanted to say.
Hovercrafts.
Anyway,
So-
Wow.
but yeah, when there's a shot where it's like is it Colonel Moon? Is that who's chasing Bond? That's
Yes.
right, isn't it? Yeah. So he like pit maneuvers Bond's hovercraft,
Mhm.
something like that. And there's a shot of him pushing Bond's hovercraft up on its side, and then Bond dismounts his hovercraft and gets on his. That is such a cool shot. Like that part in particular, the whole sequence is done well. That shot in particular was great. I thought that was really cool.
And like, oh, I remember what I was going to say. So like, I just love how this is taking place in the demilitarized zone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
guys, this is like the most dangerous place in the world. You know what I mean? Like literally, this is it.
Hits all the landmines.
There's like as he says, 1 million landmines. I mean, just like, and I just think it's cool that we get Bond out there just like it's nothing, driving hovercrafts and fighting on the hovercraft. Like, I mean, him and Dude have a showdown up on it, which you know, like I know the scene where Bond gets the Kevlar vest. Okay, I want to really think this is cool, but like, Dude could literally have shot Bond's feet or legs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
That's what John Wick would have done.
so. I don't even think I brought this up in the Living Daylights review, but in the Living Daylights at the end, Brad Whitaker has got a Uzi and he's got a plastic, like bulletproof plastic shield around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like Bond shoots at him, and of course the shield takes the bullet. I'm like, Bond, you could literally just shoot his torso right there or his legs,
And Bond is such a good shot. He could have just shot the artery in his leg and ended it right there.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's just the shield. The rest of your body's still vulnerable.
I mean, James Bond can shoot down gun barrels, so I mean, it's not outside of the
That's
realm of
what I'm
possibility.
saying.
But yeah, like here in this movie, we get them fighting on the hovercraft. We get the dude uses a flamethrower, which I think is pretty
I
cool.
love flamthrowers.
Me too. It just
I think they make everything better.
yeah. Well, I mean,
At that range, though, like in the movie, in the context of the movie, at that range, what was he thinking?
No, man.
so of course we do get Bond, sending guy off the cliff, and saying "Saved by the Bell."
I like that. It's corny.
I do too.
I thought it was
It's
nice.
really corny, but I like it too. I've heard a lot of people say they don't like it, but I don't really care. I like it.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why people.
I love that.
I love that.
With all the things this movie has that aren't great in it, like that's really kind
That's
of
not-
nitpicky. It's
That's
the
not,
worst.
yeah, that's not the thing to complain about.
So we do see Colonel Moon's father who comes up, and I think we're supposed to think he's really not that bad of a guy, like but he comes up and of course arrests Bond, and this title sequence, which I'm going to say this, guys, I do not like the Madonna song at all. Like I mean I don't, but it's not my least favorite. And spoiler alert, I'll go ahead and tell you what my least favorite Bond song is. It is that Sam Smith song. My
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I am sorry, and nothing against Sam Smith, all right, but like my God, that has got
It's
to be
bad.
That song is pretty ass.
Yeah. Well, real quick though, before we go any further, there's a title sequence in this movie. I thought this was a torture scene. That's what I thought all that racket was.
torture.
No.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying. Yeah, for a long time, this was my least favorite song, and then that flipping Sam Smith song, and like, I just hate it. Like, I really,
Dude, I'm torn. But I do agree with you, but I'm torn. I think the Sam Smith song is easier to listen to. Maybe. I guess I would just have to listen to them side by side. But
hey,
So
I understand what you're saying.
So I'm gonna be a little controversial. I don't like this song. I still like it better than the garbage one and the Sam Smith one.
You didn't like "The World Is Not Enough"?
Like, is that the one I'm thinking? The last movie is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's
You didn't like
Okay.
Garbage is the World Is Not Enough?
No, I didn't like it was fine. It wasn't nothing to write home about. I think Madonna's voice sounds better than that.
You just
The
like
only-
Madonna.
there's nothing wrong with Madonna. I do like, but this is not a good Madonna song. I will just say that like Madonna's voice is better than that, other than the fact that it sounds like she's having a stroke singing it. So
I mean,
do y'all
this.
remember?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Do y'all remember last episode when I was like, it would have been funny if Jonathan would have asked what we thought of the title song, and I said it was garbage, because no, this song's garbage.
Yeah.
This song is garbage by.
I'm not saying it's not garbage. I'm just saying like I enjoyed it more than the last. Like it's not a good song by any means.
Definitely
Like,
not a good song.
no.
I mean, guys, even as a little boy, I never cared for this song. Like,
Well, it's just like it's like, okay, we're in the 2000s. What's something we could do to make it seem like we're in the 2000s? Let's get an 80s pop star to do a 2000s song.
Yeah.
I have one more thing I want to say, and
Go
I'm
ahead.
jumping the timeline a little bit, but I want you guys to think about it. The extremes that this man goes through to get rid of these mines. Do you realize what they could have done? They could have just released a bunch of prisoners and like, okay, guys, run through the forest. They could do this twice a month for years at a time. Just run through the forest. If you
Yeah.
survive, you go free. Like, you realize how many dudes would hit mines and blow up? It wouldn't even be a problem. In 10 years, it would be fine.
Well,
Like,
the whole
most
yeah
of them would be fine.
the whole point. The point wasn't to get rid of all the mines. The point was just to clear a path, right?
I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, like,
I'm agreeing with you.
yeah,
It would have just been so much easier to go that route, because at the end of the day, you're not trying to get rid of all the mines. You're just like, eventually you would say, okay, there are no more mines that way.
yeah. Like, I mean, like, I'm not poking holes in the plot. I'm just saying,
I
like,
am.
well, I mean, like, there are holes in the plot. They're just there. Okay, I enjoy this movie. This movie is like Swiss cheese. There's holes in it. I enjoyed it, but like, you are a militaristic power. People don't like you. You do bad things. Let your prisoners go. Just like, okay, run or we'll shoot you. And then they're gonna run because you can outrun a bullet. Don't even tell them there's mines out there. They probably know, but some of these guys are stupid. So they're gonna hit mines, they're gonna blow up. It would work.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, back to the topic.
No, yeah, that's perfectly put.
Thank you, Kelly.
we get the title sequence, which also doubles as. I mean, I think this is our only title sequence where literally it's part of the actual plot. We see Bond get tortured, and we see him later on, 14 months later. Of course, he has grown his hair and beard out and looking pretty rough. He does not look like they starved him at all, though.
No, he was
still
eating
looks
good,
like
boy.
the same thickness as he was when he went in. Like, I guess they just fed him good whenever. But anyway, so
It's
didn't-
water weight from all the waterboarding.
It's Jesus. He didn't go the Tom Hanks Castaway route of method acting.
Definitely not.
but
I do have one more thing to point out. I swear to God, I'll shut up.
well, you're good.
No, dude.
James Bond being held captive for 14 months is the most unrealistic thing about this movie.
That's what I
The
always
world-
thought.
The world would not survive James Bond being captive for 14 months.
Well,
Who's
what I
gonna
want
save
to say
the
is
world?
this, man. You know how many times we've seen James Bond escape captivity? Like, I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
and so
We-
we're just supposed to believe that James Bond was just like, all right, well, I'm just going to sit back and chill for 14
Get tortured.
minutes.
Yeah.
Like-
we literally see him escape here in just a second.
Yeah.
Like,
He has
the
his
fact-
ways. He always finds a way.
The fact that M would even leave him, like, I feel like they would send somebody to kill him in captivity before they just let him stay as trade fodder or whatever.
Well, yeah, especially considering what she says. Like, they thought that he was hemorrhaging information.
Yeah.
at that point, yeah, send somebody to kill him.
So
It's better to tie off loose ends.
So we see that Bond's going to get traded for Zhao, and they meet on the. I mean, this is like I mean, kind of like in a lot of spy stories. You know, this is how they would trade agents. You know, they would have a path or a bridge or something like this, and they would trade, you know, prisoners.
Hmm.
So Bond comes in, expecting a nice welcome, but he's very quickly stuck with a hypo and taken into custody. Of course, we see Charles Robinson here. We also see Michael Madsen,
I forgot he was in this movie, dude.
who is the CIA agent. So I guess not in the same vein as Jack Wade, because I mean Jack Wade was likable. This dude's just kind of a prick, really.
Yeah.
But
why is he the one that gets to smoke in the movie?
No, Bond gets to smoke.
No,
some.
no. I mean, like he gets to smoke the cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing Bond smoke the cigars. But Bond should be able to smoke cigarettes if another person's smoking.
Yeah, dude. If he's, I would say Bond earned one by the end of this movie.
Like, dude, like as soon as he got out of captivity, he should have been like, God,
For real.
dang.
just like, man, that sucked.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So anyway, Bond is he's taken custody, and of course he's in Hong Kong, I believe, at the time. And we get what I think it was Caleb just alluded to. We get M. No, I think it was you, Colton. One of y'all was just talking about M talking to Bond and in the ship, basically saying, hey, we got word that you were, telling secrets, so we had to pull you out. And also, I like the line whenever she's like, you had your cyanide pill, and Bond's like, I threw that thing away years ago. This should kind of show you that, Bond, he's not going to take the easy way out. He's, you're going to have to kill him, or he's going to come home, one or the other. You know what I mean? He's not going to take
It's like I was talking about earlier. He literally says later on in the movie, he's like, I don't really plan on going. There is a throwaway line here as they're examining Bond that I wanted to mention. So they're checking all of his vitals, and they say liver not too good, and that's definitely him. I remember when I was watching. I'm like you. This is the first movie I watched in theaters, the first Bond movie that is, and I remember sitting there with my dad. And keep in mind, I'm like 5. No. I'd be like 7 or 8. Anyway, so I'm sitting there beside my dad watching this movie, and the doctor says that line, and then my dad starts laughing. Of course, I'm too young to really know what that means. Yeah, Bond's an alcoholic is what that means. So I remember hearing my dad laugh, and then I start laughing because I want to be included, and yeah. You clearly didn't get that joke as a kid, but now it's hilarious.
I mean, that's a pretty good memory, Caleb.
No, it's not.
It is, though.
So, of course, Bond figures out what he's going to do. He's going to make himself have a heart attack, so this woman can come in and the doctors can come in and he can get up and escape. So this is a pretty far-fetched little scene, I would say. But
yeah,
after he does that, he shocks the doctors and he gets up and he's like, I'm checking out, which I think is a very awesome scene. Like, he locks him in there. He looks at the girl. He's like, thanks for the kiss of life. And he walks out. So when he's walking out, in the background, like in Dr. No, when you're watching the gun barrel sequence, you hear these like electronic beeping noises.
Yes.
That sound is played right here when Bond is getting up and walking out of the thing.
No kidding.
Yes, and like I love it. I just think I just think it's so awesome. Like
that is really awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
That almost makes me want to go back and watch that. I'm not, but
of course we see Brosnan just casually just jump off the boat and he swims to Hong Kong, I think the Hong Kong Yacht Club or something like that. By the
Okay.
way, I want to say there is quite a bit of references. Like they reference every past Bond movie in this movie, and they also reference um, the way James Bond got his name as well. And I've seen that
Oh, yes.
very quickly. And actually, I'm going to save it till we get to that scene. I have something for y'all.
Oh.
So anyway, we see Bond come up out of the water. Colton, you got something to say, bud?
So like there's a few shots in this movie where the CGI behind them isn't that great. When he comes up out of the water in Hong Kong, this looks like ass. Like it's terrible. Like you can tell. Like it looks like something out of Sin City. You know, like it's pretty bad.
The
They could have
difference
done better.
is the difference is it wasn't a stylistic choice here.
No, I like, yeah, like no, you could just tell they were like trying to save money. They could have done like way better than this. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, it probably cost a bunch of money to do that. Like it probably would have been easier just to do it somewhere else.
Well, at the time, and I'm sure Jonathan would say the same thing, especially being a kid watching this movie, we didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure most of the people watching it in the theater didn't notice it because for 2002 standards, it looked fine.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the
now,
graphics are pretty good, like for a movie
well,
now.
um, yeah, and in some instances, sure.
Well, I'm
But
just like it doesn't. Okay,
but
these
the
would be
green
TV show
screen
graphics nowadays.
what's that?
These would be like TV show level graphics nowadays.
Sure. What I was getting at though is like just the green screen shots in particular don't look that great.
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe like low budget TV.
Yeah. Sci-fi.
God. Okay, not that bad.
Oh, speaking of sci-fi, remind me when to get to the final act of the movie. Bring up Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, we will. Trust me, we will.
Okay. All right.
So we get Bond walking into the hotel, which I think is another awesome scene. You know, he's just walking in, and of course, Bond already knows that Mr. Chang is a Chinese secret agent. You know, but Bond gets a room and very quickly is back to looking like his normal self. You know,
Did he
like
give himself that haircut?
That's what I took from it.
that'd be something if he did. Like that would really be something.
I'm not. Yeah, that's not me poking holes in the movie or whatever. If he did, cool.
Like what can't this man do?
Well, maybe that's like part of MI6 training. Like, all right, final step to being a double O.
Cut
We're
your
gonna
hair.
cut you on hair.
Oh my God. I'm gonna break the timeline one more time. They call John Cleese Q in this movie, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
John Cleese calls him 000.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Because he was poking at him.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like I like. So like he didn't change his status or anything. He's just saying he's a nobody.
Yeah, pretty much.
He-
Yeah.
Okay.
he was just being, you know, facetious with it.
Facetious. Okay.
I tell you, I'll tell you another childhood memory real quick. I can't remember who it was, but it's irrelevant. So to that effect, like my family knew that I was a huge 007 fan. So somebody used to call me 006 and a half for, same reason.
Okay.
And yeah, it's
That's kind of cute.
it's
It makes more sense.
it's funny.
Yeah. I was just wondering. I was just like, did he get reinstated with a different number? Because like the way John Cleese delivers it, it's just like John Cleese. Like I didn't get the humor in it. Maybe because I'm like autistic. I don't know. But like, I just didn't. I didn't. I guess I'll have to go back and watch it again. Like there were funny stuff in their interactions. I'm not saying there wasn't. I just that one didn't. I guess it didn't hit right for me. I didn't get it. So I'm an idiot. Continue.
So what you're saying is you need a Bond movie with a laugh track, so you'll know when to laugh.
Maybe during that scene in the movie, maybe.
Or you're like me. When I was a kid, you need to watch it with my dad So when
Oh
he
yeah,
laughs,
so I
you
know when
laugh.
to laugh.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
So just to kind of play off what Caleb was talking about, somebody calling him 006 and a half. Wife's um my wife's sister's husband, so my wife's brother-in-law, and I guess my
Your
brother-in-law,
brother-in-law.
um, he calls me 003 and a half all the time. Like,
Dang.
which I Colton, I sent you that picture of that book the other day that was literally called 003 and a half, The Adventures of James Bond Jr. So one day
You
when I
did.
was here, I was like, hey man, you've been calling me that. I actually have a book right here. That's but
He's like, yeah, I wrote that about you.
I
You
wrote
open
this,
it up, it's just pictures of Jonathan from like a bird's eye point of view.
but so anyway, we see Bond take an ashtray and just threw it in the at the mirror. Of course, we see them filming, so kind of a little reference to From Russia with Love, you know.
Yep.
But so he pretty much tells Mr. Chang that he wants to go to North Korea and take out Zhao, but he ends up going to Cuba, which
Cuba.
which actually was in that they filmed this in Spain. They filmed the Cuba sequences in Spain. They actually didn't go to Cuba.
Hmm.
But
These bastards.
so the Cuba sequence.
That explains the sepia tone.
Yeah, you're right.
So
No, it's Mexico. Never mind.
so what do you
Go
think
ahead.
about the Cuba sequence?
Same thing.
I like it. I like getting to see Bond sort of do detective work and
Yeah.
go around pretty much hunting for clues.
And
It's
he goes and talks to his Cuban contact who's a sleeper agent, Raul. And I like the way that he said, I'm here to pick up some delictados, which he talks about being a cigar.
Yeah.
In No Time to Die, I don't know if y'all caught this, but the cigar that Felix Leiter was smoking was a delictado. And I remember
man.
when I watched the movie, I was like, my God, they put a Die Another Day reference in the movie.
Dude, I did not make that connection, but as soon as you said no time to die, I was like, yes, it clicked.
But yeah, I
So,
just could not believe they put a Die Another Day reference in there, which I liked it. I thought it was cool they did that.
Sure.
So when Bond is at this guy's house, he was his safe house. He asked the guy, he's like, "Can I borrow these?" One of the things is this book right here,
Oh wow.
and as you can see on the book and the one in the movie, they actually scribbled the name out,
yeah.
But yeah, this is the book that James Bond was actually named after.
Yep.
The Field Guide to the Birds of the West Indies by Mr. James Bond. And
Yep.
I actually looked all over eBay so I could get the same version that was in the movie. And
Same. That's the same cover and everything, isn't it?
and in this, somebody said for Bill to check out on the West Indian birds. This is from February 2011. So, Bill, if you're out there, I've got your book, and I'm
John,
not
it's
going to
Bill
get it back.
Tanner's book.
But what?
It's Bill Tanner's book, John.
Bill Tanner. That's who owned it. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this up in here.
That's a really cool thing to have, man. Seriously.
Thank you.
It really is cool, John.
So, I mean, do you think you would try bird watching?
I mean, why not?
I wouldn't. That sounds just dreadful. Go ahead, Colton.
So I would like to say that okay, I lost my talking point. Jesus. Okay. So we see Bond globetrotting. Bond is going rogue here. Like
Mhm.
this is like what the real second time we've seen Bond go rogue at this point. They don't call it out and say he's going rogue. They don't say he's going rogue or anything like that.
Mhm.
You know it. I know it. I'm fine with it. I think it's great. How do you guys feel?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, especially like you said, they don't dwell on it. Like they don't make a huge deal out of it. And I don't think so. I think M just says that his 00 status was rescinded, but I think I took that as like he's still attached to MI6 in some way, right?
So yeah, like I'm gonna be straight with you. After rewatching this movie a few times, I really think that M is like, all right, so I've got to I've got to do him like, I've got to take his 00 away for right now, just to like, you know, satiate the Americans and stuff. But I think M is like actually okay with Bond doing this, because remember when he meets up with her in a little bit, first thing she says was, "So what do you have on Graves?" You know, she's like, I
Yes.
already know
She knows.
that you've been doing this. And so, I mean, and I don't think Bond was even in on it, because Bond's like, you burned me, burn, that's a little bit of espionage lingo. It's when somebody basically takes you off the books, or sometimes even killing you, but yeah, I mean, after a few times of watching it, it's like, I really do think, remember in the old Bond movies, whenever Bond had to do something, but like M couldn't like officially tell him to, it'd just be like, all right, Bond, you go take a vacation, wink,
Yeah.
wink,
I drew the same parallel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he does, all this stuff in Cuba, I will say this, some of the dialogue between him and Halle Berry, man, it's bad. Like, oh my God, it's bad.
It's terrible. Like, it is cringeworthy. Like, Diamonds Are Forever, cringeworthy.
Man, I'm gonna be straight with you. Just like the way that, like, I guess they're trying to be sexy, which I mean, Halle Berry is a very sexy lady, especially in this movie. But like
Agreed.
their talk between each other, just their dialogue is so bad. Whenever she's like, "Well, what do predators do at night?" and he's like, "They feast like there's no tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh my God, guys, come on!" Like,
It is like a 40-something-year-old man just divorced hitting on a woman at a club.
I would rather hear Bond say, "Hey, let's just go screw." All right, like I would rather hear that than all that. Like I really would.
Just cut to the
Like,
chase.
there's no sense of beating around the bush, James.
But so what do y'all think about Halle Berry coming up out of the water? Like, I mean, I get what they were trying to do with the whole Ursula Andress reference, but even as good as Halle Berry looks, man,
It
guys,
didn't land. It didn't land for me.
it's just not as good as that original
No.
scene from Doctor No. I mean,
So I'm gonna
they were trying to like reproduce it,
Yeah.
trying too hard, I think.
so I'm gonna give you guys a controversial take. This was the first one I saw. Like, I saw this movie as a kid,
Okay.
like parts of it. So like I saw a lot of these Pierce movies as like, I never watched the movies. I saw parts of them with my dad. This is one of the scenes I've seen, and like I liked Halle Berry. She was Storm. Like, I saw her in so much stuff growing up.
Yeah.
Like, Halle Berry coming up out of the water was iconic for me. I mean, because she's hot. But like, after seeing the Ursula Andress scene, like, of course she's hot. Like, it's super iconic. The two are only comparable because it's an homage.
Sure.
I get where you guys are saying it's not as iconic, but for somebody that never saw the other ones first, it's kind of iconic to me.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah. That's I completely get that. But for me, and this, of course, like I'm going into this knowing about Dr. No, right?
Right.
So Ursula Andress coming out of the water and Dr. No happened. That shot happened kind of organically, and I'm not saying that they just happened to have the camera rolling while she was swimming. I don't mean that, but just the way that shot happened to play out.
Yeah.
How it
Like
happened.
James isn't supposed to be there.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but I'm talking about just like they just wanted a shot of her coming out of the water.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They never intended for that to be iconic. So basically, what they're trying to do in this movie is they're trying to redo that, or like that organic, shot, and it just didn't. It just didn't land for me.
Same here. But
I respect that. Like, I get it.
Like, I mean, that's pretty cool that Colton's got his own like the way he looks at this scene. I like how he thinks it's iconic in its own way.
Sure.
I like
Yeah.
it. I think that's cool.
That's not me trying to take anything away from you.
No,
I understand you guys think
Yeah.
my opinions are just as valid as y'all's. Like I know you guys are.
Well, no, I think they're stupid for the most part, but
Thanks, Kevin.
Just fucking what you do.
I know you.
But this this shot and a bunch of other stuff in this movie does kind of hold a special place in my heart because this is the first movie that I watched in theaters.
I'm
yeah.
really jealous you guys got to watch this in theaters. Like, I would love to have seen any James Bond movie in theaters and any Star Wars movie pre the prequels in theaters. Like, I would have killed to have seen those like for the first time because like
Man,
nobody can take that away from you.
Just think if you had watched this movie in theaters, you could have just killed two birds with one stone because
Nope.
it basically turns into Star Wars by the end.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
So we get really, this is the first real, I guess you call it, sex scene in the franchise. Kind of awkward. The whole eating of the watermelon or whatever was going on in there.
What was that? What
I
was
don't
it?
know. Was that a guava? Is that what that was?
I think it was a mango, maybe. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
Where did she get it? Was that in the bed the whole time?
like, where did it come from?
Is Bond just rolling all over those
Fruit
things and
all over the place. But
do you want ants? Because that's how you get
that's
ants.
how you get ants.
Dude, man, the places they're in probably don't have air conditioning. They probably already have ants. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, probably.
But
the two aren't relatable, but I mean they're kind of like in the.
Imagine how humid it is in there, dude. God.
It would be so hot.
Yeah,
there's probably not a comforter on that bed. It's probably just sheets.
Bond's like she offers him a bite, and Bond's like, no, it's too hot. I don't.
So, though, of course, Bond wakes up and Jinx is gone, and he just happens to look through the binoculars, and there she is. So Bond takes off to go to the island. Of course, we see Jinx is on her own little mission. She's going to kill, what is it? That doctor that. I mean, it's obvious that this guy's an evil dude because he talks about using stuff from orphans and stuff like that.
Like right off the bat, he's like, it's okay. We'll use genes from people that won't be missed, like orphans and people that run away and stuff like that. And it's like, cool it, dude. How do you have any customers if you open with that?
Yeah, he was a little bit too open with it, wasn't he? But but we see Bond, like, I love the way he like puts, he punches that one guy out and he walks in and like that one guy had I'm guessing a whore or whatever just over there on the bed. And he was like, what do you say? Like Buenos Dias or something, puts him in a wheelchair and then just takes him off.
Yeah. She's basically like, she looks at Bond like, yeah, it was only a matter of time. I kind of expect.
Well, I mean, I think she knew jackass anyway. So I mean,
yeah, that's why I was like, this guy's a complete asshole. Like, I was just waiting for somebody to knock on the door and punch him out.
But
so, can I just say this? Bond knocking this guy out, putting him in a wheelchair, strolling into that facility, and like shoving him off down the corridor is the most Sean Connery thing I've seen him do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you got a point there because you know how I don't know if y'all ever thought about it, but like the way Sean Connery's Bond was compared to all the other ones, like Sean Connery's Bond was like kind of sadistic in some ways. Like, like you could tell maybe sometimes he was like, I'd just rather just kill you than like, or, I'd rather hurt you than, say hello to you on the street, like, I don't know, like, but yeah, I could totally see Sean Connery taking somebody's wheelchair and throwing it,
Well, Sean would have taken somebody who was actually in a wheelchair and done that, I feel like.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying about being sadistic. There were times where I felt like he was conveying that, like, yeah, I'm kind of getting a kick out of this.
Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this. It's kind of fun. Like especially like with the Professor Dent, in Doctor No, because like,
oh yes, yeah.
Like I mean, he sat there waiting for him. Let the dude empty the gun into the bed, and then just kind of sat there and just toyed with him, knowing that he was gonna, kill him. So anyway, I'm getting.
Oh, he wanted to say that line. Like that's the whole reason he went through all of that, is just so he could say, "That's a Smith and Wesson. You've had your 6." Pow. Which
But
I'm glad he did.
Iconic.
But yeah, like we get Pierce Brosnan pushing dude to make a distraction so he can infiltrate the place,
And then he walks through that window. Cold. Just cold.
And takes a grate off of the little.
That's another Sean Connery thing to do.
Yes.
Like
Connery did that in Thunderball.
all the time stealing food from scenes.
That was like him answering the phone before he hits dude in the head with it or whatever.
Yes, yeah. I love how everybody in this scene is just cool with what Bond's doing. Like he jumps through that window and there's his family there. It looks like visiting grandpa or something. And here comes Bond through the window, steals a grape, and they're all like, and then just continue talking.
Well, it's just too hot to give a shit. Like,
right, probably.
No air conditioning. They're like, it is so hot. Like, I don't care.
But of course, we see Bond enter the secret clinic by getting the mural of Che Guevara to open. I believe that's Che Guevara, one of those commies from Cuba. Anyway, it opens and Bond gets to infiltrate this place. We got all the mirrors, which kind of remind me of Scaramanga's place, when he's walking through there, which I do think that's a really good shot of Pierce Brosnan walking through all that crazy looking stuff. I love it. And of course, Jinx blows the thing up, which causes the sprinkler system to come on. And well, hold up. I went a little bit too much.
Well,
he meets his mom too.
Yeah, that happens first. I think the fire was just caused by so they cause some sparks by knocking like the lights over and stuff, and Bond throws something that's flammable, I guess, at the wall to make the is it an MRI machine? Is that what it is? It's something magnetic. It's something magnetic regardless. Of course it disarms Zhao and thereby making a fire. And then after the fight scene, which I thought was really cool, by the way.
Good fight scene for sure.
Yeah, you guys feel free to add. I'm just trying to explain how the fight started.
But Jinx did blow that guy's desk up.
That's what I'm getting at. So after the fight scene, of course we see Bond steal that necklace from Zhao. I don't know what, I forgot what even motivates him to go to that office, but he just so happens to go inside of the office as the timer runs out on the C4, then blows up.
Yeah, all right, you're right.
Oh, no. I remember. Of course, that's the window that Zhao jumps through. Yeah. And he's after him. C4 goes off. It blocks the window. And then Bond gets those oxygen tanks, which I love.
Yeah.
Aims it at the wall, takes the other oxygen tank, breaks the valve off, sending the other oxygen tank through the wall like a missile. That was really cool. Like I said, this movie has some really great moments in it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just like an OG Bond thing. Like I could see Roger or Sean.
Yes.
I could see him doing it for sure. Like
just being resourceful is what that is. Yeah.
And just badass, period.
Yeah. Yeah. I could kind of run around here and try to find a door. Oh, oxygen tank, of course.
Fuck this wall in general.
When Bond's got the gun on Zhao, and he's like click, click, like clinking on the little thing.
Yeah.
And he gets the IB bag and he squeezes on it and Zhao's like flipping out and Bond's like, I'm glad I got your attention or whatever, like.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very, very James Bond.
So anyway, of course, Jinx ends up getting out of here, and it amazes me the way these guards run off after she jumps down there. Bond's literally standing up there with a revolver.
With a smoking gun.
Yeah, like, I mean, but they don't seem to care nothing about Bond. But anyway, of course, we see Bond go back to his MI6 sleeper agent guy, Raoul, and Bond's looking at the diamond, and it says that, it's got that symbol GG, which I never would have thought that was GG. Like, it just looks like a diamond to me. Like,
I agree.
so anyway, pretty much Gustav Graves diamonds are identical to African conflict diamonds, which, of course, conflict diamonds are banned by the United Nations. So we
You care
see,
to elaborate on why?
well, because, conflict diamonds.
I don't know anything about them.
Okay, so
They're diamonds that fight each other.
So like pretty much diamonds that, that are mined and people like, so like, children mine for them, like it's just a lot of bad things go into those diamonds getting out.
Okay.
I mean, like atrocities happen, all sorts
It makes sense.
all sorts of terrible things happen. You should look it up.
Diamonds acquired by
Nefarious means.
There you go.
And that's not to make light on conflict diamonds, because like I really don't. I'm not for that stuff at all.
Nah.
Like,
well, I mean, I don't even really care for diamonds that much. So,
but anyway, so Bond then goes to England, and of course we get the Clash song, "A London Calling," which is such a weird thing to have in a Bond movie. And I love the Clash. That's one of my favorite bands of all time. But I think it's so weird. But the woman that gives Bond his martini on the airplane is Roger Moore's daughter.
Really?
Yes.
oh yeah, I want to say I knew that. I guess I did. That's one of those old trivia things that I remember seeing or reading about. I like Gustav's entrance here.
Yeah.
This
Very
movie's been
spotty.
all. Yep, I was gonna say this movie's been all about making references. Might as well chalk this one up to Spy Who Loved Me.
Yep.
So I just want to say that I love the Clash song. I think it's one of my favorite parts of the movie because, I mean, it's his first time going back to England, to London. I thought it was dope. The thing I thought weird was seeing James Bond fly on a plane commercially. It was that was different for me. Have we seen him? Okay, so he has flown commercially in like what, Doctor No, and any other movies that he's just flown commercially?
Well,
Live
would
and
you-
Let Die.
would you count Goldfinger?
Yeah, Live and Let Die. There you go. But
Would
we
you
don't
count
see him on the plane in that, do we?
No, we just
Goldfinger?
touch him down.
Okay.
In Goldfinger, he's flying on Goldfinger.
Yeah, it's a private jet. Yeah.
Yeah. I just meant like James Bond is doing normal stuff.
Yeah.
And he's not even undercover. So this is just like
Well,
a James Bond thing.
he's his I think his 00 status is still rescinded at this point, so he can't just.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm just saying like he's just on a plane.
It's cool. It's cool to see him do like mundane stuff.
Yeah,
for
I
once.
I guess I was just like, it just felt weird to me.
No, it's an odd visual to see Bond sitting in a plane or checking the mail or
It'd be like him mowing the yard, you know?
going to get the newspaper. I don't know.
So we also see Miranda Frost here, and her name was going to be Gala Brand, which is the Bond girl in the novel Moonraker, but it was a last minute decision to switch her over to Miranda Frost. And and I think that is the only Bond girl that we never get to see in the movies is Gala Brand.
How do you guys feel about Rosamund Pike's portrayal of Frost?
Love her.
I do too.
It's fine.
Like
yeah.
Like I love her.
I do too, man. I think she's like a superb actress, and she's smoking.
Hey, cool it. We get it. She's, now, her performance didn't it didn't really stick out. I Okay, I'll say this. I like her way better than I like Halle Berry in this movie.
I understand.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Halle Berry is like really spy parody in this movie, so I can get a
Yeah.
lot of people not liking her.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So I don't think it's her fault because we saw
No.
her in John Wick 3 and she kicked ass.
Perfect.
Like, yes. Oh, yeah. I don't think the movie would have been as good without her in it, honestly. So
While we're on this thought process, before I lose this, Caleb, why haven't we seen Pierce Brosnan in a John Wick movie? They put everybody in those movies.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I think he'd make a good villain, honestly.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Having him try to kill John Wick, like,
Yeah.
just make Pierce Brosnan the stairs if you get that reference. You guys might like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm kidding. But
that
I
was
seriously, John Wick versus Pierce Brosnan, oh my God.
that'd be cool. But
If you-
yeah, just speaking to her performance, like it was fine. Um, if it was just okay, if it was two of her and no Halle Berry, yeah, that'd be great.
My question is, have you seen Rosamund Pike in anything else? Or is this the only thing you've seen her in?
So
Just I wouldn't know.
Okay.
she
Yeah.
actually voiced she was on one of the James Bond radio dramas.
Really?
And she voiced some characters. Toby Stevens, the guy that plays Gustav Grays in this movie, actually voices James Bond in several radio dramas, and they're awesome. Y'all should totally go look them up.
Dude, I love old radio dramas. That'd be something I could easily get into.
Yeah,
Hey,
they're very enjoyable.
I gotta run for like a second, but I got you guys right here. So
You're good, Kel.
But
So I would like to say while we're talking about Rosamund Pike, if that's okay. Like, man, she's in. Do you like David Fincher?
he all right.
All right. Have you ever seen David Fincher's? Is it? I think it's Gone Girl.
No, I know what you're talking about though. I know she's in.
Man, watch that movie. It's a good movie. She is cuckoo cuckoo in that movie. Like, her acting like is on another level in a lot of other movies she's in. Like, she's a really good actress.
So we see Bond going to the MI6 safe house, and he uses that. Well, actually, no. Before that, he goes to Blades, which is also another part of Moonraker, the novel. So in the novel Moonraker, he goes to Blades, which was a card club, but as we see now, it's a fencing club run by Madonna.
So look, here's the thing. Madonna's attractive. For her being as old as she is, she looks good. And her acting isn't terrible here. Even though she had like a lackluster song at the opening, I don't mind Madonna having a cameo here.
She's like Madonna, dude. Like you just got the hots for her.
Dude, I like Madonna. She's hot. Like it's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with Madonna. I mean, she doesn't look as good nowadays. She still looks kind of younger, even though she's old. But like, I don't hate Madonna in this scene. Like her acting's actually pretty good. Like,
No, I don't hate her in this scene either. Yeah,
okay.
I don't really have. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that it was bad that she was in this movie, but like, I mean, for what this movie is, I really do not see what's wrong with her being in the movie at all.
No, like she's literally like she has the best lines in this. She's like, I don't like cockfighting.
Yeah,
Like, she's like, you two are acting like idiots, pretty much, and then they proceed to act like idiots,
and like pretty much destroy this posh bougie club.
Yep. Also, like, I love the Blades Club reference, like the fact they put that in there. I think that's a better cameo than Madonna being a cameo.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that they called Blades. I'm glad that they used the Blades name, even though it wasn't a card club. I'm glad that they used it.
Well, we only see a part of it, so I mean, they might have like a gambling section somewhere else.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
But,
I remember you mentioning something about the Blades Club a few episodes ago, and I think you even said that it makes an appearance in this movie, and that totally slipped my mind. I wish I would have had that in mind when this scene came up. But dude, this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Like,
it's good.
Madonna aside, which I don't have a problem with. I just think, she wanted a cameo in the movie and she got it. Whatever, it's there. It's yeah, but the fencing scene, dude, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
That's
even
I
when
don't know what
they
else to say.
even when they go to like different types of swords, the fighting is still good.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
you figure James Bond is like a modern day knight.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
it's awesome to see him sword fight. Like you've seen him do everything else. It's dope.
Yeah. It's really well done. I mean, it's choreographed well, honestly, even though we get a lot of quick cuts, but whatever. Um,
It looked
and
like Pierce did a lot of it too.
there are a lot of shots of action like with Pierce in camera. So yeah, I don't know how much he did, honestly, but just the fact that he held a sword that's spades above Roger Moore. So
I do like when the fight gets down to like like they're like
yes, yeah,
hitting each other in the face like with
yeah.
fists. Like I like when it gets
Well, at one point, Gustav disarms Bond. He drops his sword, and immediately Bond resorts to his fist, which I mean, it's kind of like a reflex, I guess.
Yep.
Um,
so of course
and last thing I will say is, Colton mentioned how they change types of swords. They finish up with these big, bulky, medieval type swords, which let's be real, they're props, but the actors do a really good job of like selling the weight of those swords because they just look so cumbersome as they're
Claymore is what those things are called, aren't they?
okay. Yeah, I think so. But they do a really good job of selling how cumbersome those swords were to just maneuver. So
Yeah, it goes to show that James was just a little bit stronger. I think.
sure, yeah, I think we can take that away from this scene. Yeah,
Yep.
So of course Bond is given a key, which he's like, I know where this key goes, and he goes to the like it looks like it's maybe like on a bridge or something. And he goes, I don't know where it would be, but anyway, it leads into a underground like tube tunnel, which of course during the Blitz, which is when the Nazis were bombing London, they built
yep.
like they used all those subway tunnels as a way to like
There's a
Have
bunker, pretty
bunkers.
much.
as a bunker, yeah.
Yeah,
So Bond's down there, and like I mean, it seems like Bond is a lot more like just kind of melancholy and like just kind of sad about it because he walks down there and he's like, a forgotten place for forgotten agents. But M's like, yeah, like I need to know what you got on Gustav Graves and like I mean I do like that part. Like I like the part where like M's like it's time to get back to business.
yeah.
Like I finally got you not in North Korea. Now it's time to
Like
figure out what's going on.
it's just me and you now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like we don't have the Americans or the North Koreans. It's just us. We can,
yeah.
you know, uh, and so we get this. What do you think about this? Like training, the what's it called? VR training that
Yeah.
Bond was doing.
I think it's really cool. It's also kind of a reference to what Never Say Never Again.
Which part?
Isn't there like a video game sequence at the beginning of Never Say Never Again?
There's a video sequence in a casino
Yeah.
partway through the movie, but
Okay.
I don't think
For some reason, I was thinking of like a training sequence with James Bond at the beginning of Never Say
yeah,
Never.
yeah, at the beginning, yeah, it's a training sequence. Yes.
Okay, that's not in a video game though.
No,
So
no,
I don't think so.
it's been a long time since I tried watching that movie. I need to go back and finish it.
we're gonna be watching it pretty soon because after we get through the Craig era, we'll be watching the unofficial ones.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
I would like to say like I thought it was a cool sequence. Uh, it's cool that Bond shot M to save him.
Yeah.
And M's like the type of person I wouldn't think she would give a shit to take a bullet if she had to. So that she probably wouldn't even be mad if James had to kill her for the country.
Oh,
So
she most definitely wouldn't be mad. She would know that he had to do what he had to do, you know. But
Well, she better not be mad if Bond has to kill her, because she literally said that if it were up to her, he would have stayed in that prison. So you can't say something like that and then
yeah.
be mad when you get shot.
All right,
Right.
so I remember my mom whenever we watched this, and this was like, guys, this is probably like 2003 or 2004. I guess I think we had rented the movie, and you remember in The World Is Not Enough when Bond saved him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we watched that scene in Die Another Day whenever M's like, if it was up to me, you'd still be in North Korea. My mom was like, but he saved you.
Dude,
like,
I thought the exact same thing. And as a matter of fact, I meant to actually say that when we were talking about that scene where he after he gets examined. Because yeah, I like the way I would have put it is, wait a minute, he just saved you in the last movie.
like she was going to die. Like, if
Yeah,
Bond had died,
yes. And I don't know, man. The way she said Bond as Bond was running away up the stairs towards the lecture, the way that she cried out for help sounded pretty desperate.
yeah.
And now you're talking about leaving him in a South Korean prison. Yeah, let's rethink some things, Em.
I think she just tries to act like a hard ass sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
But anyway, so after the VR training, we get, man, this scene right here, we were talking about references. Guys, there is literally like a reference to
Yeah.
almost every one of the Bond movies in this lab.
Does this thing still work?
Yeah, like,
I
we got
loved
the
that.
jetpack, we
My
got
favorite reference.
there's the jetpack, the Acrostar jet from Octopussy, the crocodile submarine from Octopussy as well.
Mhm.
Rosacleb
shoe.
Yeah, like everything is here. Like,
Yep.
um,
I was just gonna say I do appreciate this scene. I like all the nods to all the older movies, and it almost makes up for what we get next.
what, the invisible car?
Yeah, the invisible car.
Dude, I love the invisible car. I do.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I love it.
I want to say
I love it
real
too,
quick.
man.
I like when Q gives Bond his watch and says, "This is your 20th, I believe."
Yes. I love it.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
I
super
did.
super cute.
I love it, man. Like, dude, okay, guys, I'm gonna be straight with y'all. And like, so I did not even realize that people didn't like the invisible car. I was probably like, it was whenever I was working at Walmart because I got into listening to Calvin Dyson. That was kind of like how I got into the Bond community, you know. Of course, I knew the movies inside and out, but like I didn't know there was a Bond community until I started listening to him. And then I realized I was like, man, people don't like the invisible car. Guys, I love the invisible car.
I get that this is a fantasy world. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm completely okay with that. Let's think of this from a logistic standpoint. So can you imagine how much it would have cost to put reflective camouflage? I like the car.
Yeah.
I do like the car. I think it's a good looking car. But do you realize it would have cost a fortune to wrap that car in reflective camouflage?
So
Hold on.
sorry.
And this is an agent who literally just got his. We don't even know if he got his 00 status back by this point. Like, but we do know that he just had it rescinded, and now you're going to give him this car that is costs an infinite amount of money because it's got all these gadgets, the reflective camo, yada yada yada. But my point is it's like the car itself is far fetched, but it's an even farther fetch to give it to Bond, right? A guy whose track record isn't exactly the best when it comes to gadgets.
You're right. I'll concede that fact. But like also like to bring it to like a more realistic standpoint, I just look at it like this is what England does with their dirty money.
Okay.
Like I mean like they make
like how
well, I mean you've got like inflatable raft telephone booths and you've got Q and his ghetto blasters. Like they just make ridiculous stuff all the time. So
well, okay. And I will speak to that point. It's like okay, all this experimental stuff that we're spending an absolute fortune on, be sure you give it to Bond so he can destroy it and all the evidence will be gone.
Right? You are right.
Yeah, okay.
No,
I
it's a
can
tax write-off pretty much.
sure. Um,
Like
but dude, I love the line when Q presses that button and that platform comes down the tracks.
so
And
maybe you've been down here too long.
dude, I laughed so hard.
So funny.
Guys, I'm gonna be straight with you. I cannot explain enough how much I like this car. Now, to me, the Aston Martin DB5 will always be my dream car. But guys, I'm gonna be straight with you. Honestly, it's probably a tie with this one because my God, this car is beautiful.
It's a good looking car.
I mean, guys,
drive it.
I remember as a little boy seeing this before Die Another Day even came out. I mean, I vividly remember on my mom's laptop looking up like just, stuff on the new James Bond movie, and I saw a picture of this car, and I was like, man, that is the coolest
The
looking
same
car.
thing.
Like
I did the same thing, man. I used to have this. I'm sure it's at my dad's among all my other junk, but I remember going to his office, getting on his computer on his Windows XP computer and getting on Internet Explorer and looking up Bond news and reading about Die Another Day. And I printed out this stack of papers because at the time we had a computer at home, but I don't think we had internet.
Yeah.
Maybe we had dial up, whatever. So it wasn't really worth. It wasn't worth trying to. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't have time to read it at the office, so I just printed all that stuff off, stapled it together, and I just remember going through those, just reading all that stuff over and over. So yeah, I can relate to that.
So one thing I do want to say, Die Another Day came out at the 40th anniversary of James Bond.
That's right. Yep.
And guys, I remember so we just had the 60th anniversary of James Bond.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm gonna be straight with you. The 40th anniversary was so much better. I remember my dad and my stepmom, they got me this, it was a tin little box. You open it up and it had 2 sets of cards in it, playing cards. And I cannot for the life of me know what I did with those. I'm gonna buy them sometime. But it was blue and it said 40th anniversary on it. And opened it up and it was just like these playing cards that had Bond like pictures of the movies on it.
Yeah.
Or like scenes from the movies and characters. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, consider this, Jonathan. The 40th anniversary seemed, when this movie came out, even though I don't like this movie that much, but it seemed like there was still something to celebrate, right? Yeah. What do you celebrate after No Time to Die? You know what I mean?
Well, that was a movie.
Pretty much. Like,
I completely understand.
Yeah.
But says you can get them for $20 on eBay, John.
You know what? I'm gonna get that sometime. I just don't know, because I would always take pretty good care of my stuff. I just cannot believe that I lost those. But anyway, back to what we were doing. We were talking about the car, and I really gushed over this car. I love it.
This is one of my favorite Bond cars.
Yes,
I would drive it. I would buy it.
Yes, it's literally tied with the DB5 for me, dude. I love it. But
I don't know if I'd go that far. But like I said, it is a good looking car. And okay, last thing I'll say about the active camo, I'll give the filmmakers credit for showing it like glitch when Q walks behind it, because y'all know what I'm talking about. Like his foot gets really big for a second. It's because he's so close to the car. He's so close to the cameras on the rear. So they added a little bit of realism, I guess.
The tech isn't going to be perfect, so the fact that they did that works wonders for me.
Yeah, it's something, I guess.
So
just like whenever he's driving it later in the movie and the car is invisible and it's leaving hell tracks in the snow. Yeah.
Sure. But how do you get those cameras on glass?
Yeah, I don't know.
And and you got to have a screen. Yeah, whatever.
So anyway, we see Bond go to Iceland, which is where Gustav Graves is having his Icarus satellite unveiling, and Bond goes there, and I like how he's like a vodka martini, plenty of ice if you can
If you can
spare
spare it. I say that all the time.
if you can spare it.
I say, dude, all right, Colton, you know what R&B's is?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they had yeah, you're familiar too, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay. They had something on their lunch special. I think it was like a tater tot casserole. And I didn't get that. I ordered something else and it was like and some tots, if you can spare it.
I love it. Oh, here's
Great,
why.
man.
I'll tell you what I do. Like whenever I'm out doing something like at a store, like this happens to me at liquor stores because I'm always, just going and looking at and trying to figure out what I'm gonna get. People will be like, "You need some help with anything?" And I will quote Roger Moore from Live and Let Die and be
I can
like,
manage.
I'm just browsing, thank you." Like
Oh, yeah.
when he's at that voodoo shop, I do that. That's something I do a lot. But so anyway, I do like, we see Mr. Kill, whenever Bond pulls up in the Aston Martin, he gets out and this guy's like, "My name's Mr. Kill," and Bond's like, "That's the name to die for." It's like, all right.
Okay, so who played Mr. Kill? Who is that? Okay, I was just wondering,
Lawrence McCore, I guess. Makoare.
okay, he gave me like Dwayne Johnson's grandpa vibes.
Um he's a Kiwi. He's from New Zealand.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Kill.
Mr. Who?
I'm Mr. Kill. I'm Meta Brooks.
So anyway, we're checking out the Ice Palace and all that good stuff. We see Jinx is there as well.
I would like to say the Ice Palace looks amazing.
Pretty cool.
Like,
Yeah.
and the underground lair or wherever the lair is, like big time Ken Adams vibes for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think
With the plants and stuff.
Yes, the set design for this movie. For people to hate on this movie as much as it is, I'm really surprised they don't like. I love the set design. Like,
Well,
just
dude,
for that fact alone, I love this movie.
I don't want to hate on this movie. Like, clearly a lot of thought and a lot of effort went into pretty much everything besides the story. Uh, so, I mean, I can appreciate all those things. I really can.
I don't even hate the story because like it's like good. Look at it. Look, it's
No,
like
I'm not rolling my eyes at you. I'm rolling my eyes at the story. But continue.
I know, but like if you look at it from like a standpoint, if this was a pulp novel, when you get to the twist that Gustav Graves was, well, what's his name again? His Korean name?
Colonel Moon.
Yeah, Colonel Moon. Like,
well, no.
his
The Zhao.
Yeah. Okay. So when you
Wait,
find out,
no. I'm sorry. It is Colonel Moon. I apologize. It is Colonel Moon.
You're fine. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
So like when you get the reveal that that's who that is,
Hmm?
a plot twist like that in a book would be huge, and it's kind of big in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like in today's time, people might take it the wrong way, but like I think it's really smart for a film.
And I don't like my biggest takeaway from that part was like I was surprised, but my surprise was like, oh my God, you like actually did that. You know what I mean?
I get it because like it seems somebody could say like take it like it wasn't tasteful, and I could get it. But like the way the guy acts, like he does a good job with it. What was his name? Toby Stevens?
Yeah. Graves. Yes.
Yeah, he does a good job, and he's a good villain. Like you hate him. Like
I do. Yeah. He even says that he mirrored the his persona after Bond.
That makes sense.
What does he call it? Something like unreasonable swagger or something like that, and the quips. I like that part. But yeah, dude, that was just stupid.
Well, if James Bond had died, they would have never figured out that's who that was.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I mean that's true. But just from just from a narrative perspective, or like from a writer's perspective, I don't know. Man, that was it's just really far fetched, even for a Bond movie. Like,
I'll give it that. It's
yeah,
convoluted, it's situational, and it's weird, but it works for me, I think. Like I think that's the most unconventional thing I can say is like I get it, it doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. I don't hate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It
Well,
could have been
dude,
better. I'm not saying it
yeah.
couldn't have been better. It could always be better.
It's like I was saying earlier. I don't want to hate this movie, and
I get it.
I want to buy it. I want to be on board. I want to be
So
immersed in this movie, but I can't. That is just so brain dead to me. That
so
is so.
my question is like, would you rather not have it?
What's that? The movie?
Yeah, like
No, no,
if you
no,
could
no. Like,
if
okay.
you could either enjoy this movie or not have it, which would you pick?
Hmm. You know, it's a tough choice. I think I'd rather
I
get
wouldn't
kicked
give this
square in
movie.
the balls. Honestly,
Do what?
I think I'd rather get kicked square in the balls. Oh, sorry.
What were you saying, John?
Oh, I wouldn't give this movie up for anything.
I wouldn't either. Like, there's so much good stuff in
No,
this movie.
dude. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it has its place in the series.
I'm
I
gonna
say that about all the movies.
I'm gonna be
I really
straight with you.
do.
I think this is by far the most favorable review Die Another Day has probably ever got on a YouTube channel. Like because
Dude, I wish I could articulate it better, honestly, because like I didn't have a bad time watching this movie. I also didn't have a bad time watching Diamonds Are Forever. Is Diamonds Are Forever good? Objectively, no.
See, I had an easier time watching this than I had watching Diamonds Are Forever.
I
I
think
was
that's true
so
for me too,
mad.
honestly.
Do
I
what?
think I think that's true for me too.
Okay.
I think this is an easier watch. This movie is easier to digest, but
well, and I think the reason that this movie's easier to digest is because we're seeing Pierce Brosnan do a lot of what Pierce Brosnan has been doing. In Diamonds Are Forever, we're seeing, and don't get me wrong, I actually love Diamonds Are Forever for what it is. But in Diamonds Are Forever, we are seeing our Sean Connery, and I love the man, I really do.
Yeah.
But he's put on a little bit of weight in Diamonds Are Forever, and we're seeing our suave, hero basically turn into a comedic.
Sleazeball.
I mean, I think of Diamonds Are Forever as a comedy. Like I cannot see that movie
it's
uh,
what it is, dude.
as
Yeah,
a serious movie. And you
yeah,
know what? I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
yeah. I
Like,
am too.
I guess
Yeah,
I need to watch it from that perspective because, like,
that's what I was telling you that night. I think we were texting about it. I was like, dude, they they know what that movie. The filmmakers knew what that movie was. They got Sean Connery back, so they had to scrap and of course Lazenby quit. So they had to scrap the original idea. They threw a script together real quick because they got Connery back. And there's not a second in that movie where I felt like that they were trying to take it seriously.
yes.
That's where this movie that's one of this movie's faults is that it tries to take itself seriously sometimes. And that that's not really that's not an issue until the final act for me. Like because this movie sets up the final act really well, I think. Like if you take the pre-title sequence and then you take basically the entire movie leading up to this point, it's really good. It's like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's really good stuff. And then it all falls apart at the end.
so what you're telling me is you have a problem with James Bond fighting this Darth Vader-esque character with a Nintendo Power Glove controlling a giant mirror satellite.
No, no, no. I actually don't. I think that part is perfect. Actually,
Okay.
the fuck, dude. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure
This
that's
guy, dude, he turns into Power Rangers.
it's not that
It's
bad.
so bad.
It's not as bad as Power Rangers.
It is that bad. It is that bad.
Caleb, I'm the biggest Power Rangers fan you could ever meet. Okay? I can tell you anything you wanted to know. And even I will admit that the acting and the effects and the
Okay,
things they do in
yeah.
Power Rangers are a billion times more terrible than this could ever be. So
Okay.
don't even put that on this movie, Caleb. Okay? Look, Look over there in the corner. That is pure Power Rangers over there. Don't do that to James Bond.
It's a lot of Power Ranger stuff.
Don't do that to
I
James.
didn't do it to Bond. I didn't do this to Bond. They
Don't kick
did
him
it.
while he's down, man.
No. Man, it would have been so cool to have a climactic ending on a big jumbo jet like this. I think I'm getting way ahead of like where we were. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
My bad.
Yeah, we kind of went on a tangent. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
Well, okay. Well, I'll quit after this, but I was thinking during that scene, like if you take all the Power Ranger stuff out of this, you got a really good set piece for a climactic ending. I think. And they sold it.
The only thing I don't really like about this end scene is the camouflage suits. They really stick out.
You don't like that camouflage, but you like the camo on the Aston Martin?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you can't see that camo, can you? So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you, I guess.
So just we've talked, I mean, I think we've went over enough. Just I'm gonna just hit the points real quick.
Okay.
Pretty much at the Ice Palace, we get, Bond and, well, what's her name? Miranda Frost pretty much tells Bond, hey, I'm an MI6 agent. And even though she's pretty much been, like her name suggests, Frosty, she's been very cold to Bond. They end up having sex anyway, which I never understood. I mean, I like it just kind of just happened, and it's like, all right,
It makes
The
no
reason,
sense.
what's that?
It makes no sense.
The only reason that happened is because it was in the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but of course, while that's going on, Jinx is infiltrating the lair and, of course, getting herself captured. So later on, Bond goes and basically finds Jinx and also confronts Gustav Graves, which by this time Bond has put together, hey, you're actually Colonel Moon from 14 months ago in North Korea. And I love it just the way, Gustav Graves is up in his office and Bond like flips that thing down. He's got his P99 drawn. He says, so you live to die another day. In one of those Family Guy, they said it moments, you know what I mean?
You said the thing.
I do like the name drop. Yeah.
I do too. Of course, it's here we realize that Miranda Frost, hey, she ain't a good guy. She's actually she's a bad guy. She's a turncoat. She's a traitor. And she's actually working for Gustav Graves. And we get a little backstory for her. She was a Olympic, some sort of Olympic athlete, and Gustav Graves made it to where she would win.
Yep.
Which I thought was a nice little backstory for her,
That is the one plot point that makes no sense for me. Like, why is an MI6 agent obsessed with being an Olympic gold medalist?
Well, I think she was an Olympic gold medalist first, and since Gustav Graves wanted her to, infiltrate MI6, then she went and did that.
Okay.
That's what I took out of it.
Yeah.
By the way, I know that I've been like pretty much cheerleading for the Raymond Benson books. Guys, Raymond Benson did a book for Die Another Day, and guys, y'all both need to watch it. Anybody listening to this, let me restart that. You don't need to watch it, you need to read it.
Oh, crap. Man, I knew you were going to say read. Dang.
Listen.
I can't read.
Guys, I'm telling you, there is one scene in particular that's not even in the movie that Raymond Benson puts in, and it is awesome. It's near the beginning of the book.
Dude, that's not what I want. And Don, I don't want more scenes.
Yes, you do. You didn't know you did, but you do. I'm telling you. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, pretty much when Bond realizes that, hey, Miranda's not all that, he uses his ring on the floor. It makes his escape, gets in the car, and of course goes and saves our girl Jinx. And I do like whenever Bond takes her and he puts her in the hot water.
Yeah.
and like I mean, I don't know. It's just you can tell that Bond actually cares for her, which I like. And
Yeah,
of course,
that's
Zal also we get a duel between the two titans of British motoring, Aston Martin and Jaguars.
Dude, I love that car sequence. Out on
Bond,
the ice, it looks so badass.
guys,
it is a really
I'm gonna be
cool.
straight with you. People can say what they want to about Die Another Day, but I think this might have one of the greatest car battles slash chases in the whole franchise.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It
Like,
is so awesome.
I love when Bond turns around to start shooting missiles at Zal, and they presumably both have heat-seeking missiles on their cars, and they're just hitting each other and they're exploding. Well, the shots that you get of that are so cool to me. And then I love when Bond is gets flipped over on his
Yes.
top,
And he uses the
uses it.
ejectors.
Dude,
yes.
Just the
I
way
don't,
the way that Brosnan looked in that, he flips back over and he just
and then he just
he
like
hits
his
that thing down and it closes.
He
Yep.
wasn't worried one bit.
He
That
knew
was
what he was
so
doing.
cool.
Oh, he looked so cool in that scene, dude. But not in like a Roger Moore like I just wandered onto the set.
Yes.
Like, and I don't really care what's going on
Yeah.
right now.
But like in a I know what I'm doing and I'm
Yep.
driven, I'm motivated. I've got to get this dude. Like
Yep.
this is the guy that put me in that freaking North Korean prison. They sold me out to my own people. I'm
Yep.
going to get like, and I love it whenever he uses the adaptive camouflage to like back up.
Yeah.
So Zal drives in the water, and then Bond drives down and just pulls his gun out and just shoots the chandelier and it comes down on him, man. Like,
That was a morbid death.
yes, it was the way the blood just kind of like just goes up.
Yeah.
Do you think it's safe to assume those? Do you think those are diamonds on the chandelier? Or do you think are just?
I think they actually zoom in to show that they were actually diamonds. Yeah.
that is like an ironic death.
Yeah. Yeah. So for as much as the third act of this movie falls apart, I can't help but really love the chase scene on the ice.
Man, this chase scene it's awesome.
Yeah. The automatic shotguns come into play when Zal's shooting the mortars out of the trunk of his car and Bond's car is shooting them out of there.
One thing I want to say, man, that Jaguar, man, I love that Aston Martin, but man, that Jag is pretty awesome itself.
Dude, good looking car. Yeah. Even the green, man. It looks good on it.
Yeah,
and I don't
love
like
that green.
dude, that car is John Deere green.
Yeah. I want to say
Like your hat.
Jaguar
Like
green.
your hat.
Thanks, go.
I want to say this about so of course in Spectre, the movie Spectre, we also get another Aston Martin Jaguar face off, and I like both of the cars in that movie, but I'll be straight with you, I like Spectre more than most people do, but man, that chase has nothing on this. This is just awesome. Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is like almost. I'm not saying it's like peak of all time, but like this is peak James Bond for this movie.
yeah, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like this is the sex scene for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
agree.
You could have stopped like at when you said the chase in Inspector has nothing. You could have just stopped because like there's nothing going on in that scene.
And
Okay. For Spectre, I will speak up and say like Bond's driving inside the car in that movie, like the inner cockpit stuff, showing how much James is like physically trying to drive. It looks good in that movie. They just don't really do anything other than drive up and down some stairs.
Yeah. Like, which sucks because, I mean, I remember whenever I saw the DB10 for first time, I thought it was awesome,
Oh, yeah. Yes, that is a good looking car.
but
I was gonna say, like, I guess it's hard to do an exciting chase scene when you're trying to like keep it grounded, but like for all of Quantum of Solace's faults, that chase scene at the beginning is like heart pounding.
Oh yeah.
It's a really good chase. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of an excuse for Spectre with all that being said, I will take this car chase over that one.
The only thing I want to say is, so not Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan actually had an Aston Martin exactly like this in real
Yeah.
life, and like
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
You know what
really
happened
cool.
to it, right?
it was lost in a house fire.
Yes, it was.
Oh no.
The only thing he had left of it is the plaque that said made by Aston Martin for
Pierce
Pierce
Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Dude,
by
you want to talk? You want to talk about irony? You know what I'm getting? So the chase scene for this car, and like the whole set piece is ice, and then his gets burned.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
Um,
Uh,
I agree.
we are pretty much at the end of the movie, aren't we?
Yeah,
yeah,
we
dude.
are.
You want to like we can totally wrap it up.
Yeah, well, we can go ahead and wrap it up. So, all right, so whenever they get on the plane, which is they try to sniper rifle assassinate him, but they can't do that, so they get on the plane.
Yeah.
And of course, we see Jinx and Miranda fight each other, and Jinx kills Miranda. And like I like the way that she does that. She says, "Read this, bitch." It's the art of war. Like the
By
thing
Sun
is
Tzu.
stuck.
It's so
And,
funny.
and so with Bond and Gustav Gray, of course, we see Gustav Grace kill his father, which obviously pisses Bond off because he doesn't like that. Because I think Bond did like the daddy, actually.
Well, you said at the beginning that we're supposed to kind of like him.
Yeah, you're
And
supposed to think he's kind of, he's not a hardliner. He's just like, he's just doing what his country needs, I guess.
he's more empathetic. He's a
Yeah.
more empathetic character to me. So
Well, he's a patriot compared to his terrorist son.
Yes.
right, yes, yeah.
Like, of course, he kills his son. I mean, his son kills him.
The
Sorry, I
dad,
got it
yeah,
backwards.
yeah. I got you.
And guys, something I still don't understand to this day is why was he in that suit?
Dude, Nintendo Power Glove. That's all it is.
It is so crazy.
Stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It is stupid.
Like
It's
the only thing I could think of is if it made him stronger. But like he didn't physically do anything with it.
It gave him Palpatine powers. That's all
That
it
was it.
did.
Why would
was
there
it.
be a button on the suit to electrocute himself?
Made no sense.
I don't
Like-
know. I don't know. This scene almost gave me an aneurysm, dude.
Yeah, I
He just had
agree.
to have a gimmick, really.
It's
I
so
agree.
bad.
Like, and I don't know if y'all played this game, but did y'all ever play 007 Legends?
No.
I want to though. Like, go ahead.
So
What was
Die
you gonna
Another
say?
Day is a level in that game. And Toby Stevens comes back to voice Gustav Graves, which was a nice little thing. But I just remember that fight in the game where you had to fist fight him while he was in the suit. That
Yeah.
suit, I mean, that has got to be one of the, I don't even know, like just one of the low points of the whole Bond series is that dude in that suit. Like, why was he in that suit?
Dude, I thought
Like-
the low point was gonna be Halle Berry, like strapped to that thing with all the lasers going
Yeah.
around, and then Bond coming in and saving her, and then like trying to have a fist fight around the lasers. That was really stupid. Boy, you're in for a rude awakening if you think that's stupid because yeah.
But I will say this. I really do like some of the dialogue between Bond and Gustav Graves at the end. Because Gustav Graves says, "Well, time to face destiny," and Bond says, "Time to face gravity." Like
Yep.
I love that.
I love that. Yeah,
I
I do
really
too.
like that.
I like the way Graves dies. He gets sucked into
Yeah.
the jet engine.
Very
It's
terrible death. Like,
awful. It's awful.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the Star Warsy kind of reference, like with the plane window looking
yes,
like,
it is kind of like that, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it looks a lot like Empire and Return of the Jedi. So
Huh.
kudos to that.
I didn't pick up on that. Huh.
But of course, we get the end of the movie where Bond and Halle Berry, well, Jinx, are laying around with a ton of diamonds. And
Do you want to talk about how they get off the plane or no? If you don't want to, I'm completely. The
we-
helicopter.
Yeah, let's.
Oh my god! Oh my god, dude, that was so stupid.
Like the wind would rip it to pieces, would it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this is just me. Also, the cars should have been destroyed. They shouldn't just be stuck in mud.
That was
Like,
funny though. That
yeah,
was funny.
It looks like they stuck model cars in mud and then like did a forced perspective shot.
Dude, we didn't talk about the Bond in the speed, like the
Ice,
whatever.
whatever that thing is. Yeah, we did. I
Yeah.
just thought about that. We didn't, did we?
Real quick, I can go, like, I can wrap my thoughts up really quick. It was stupid. It was so stupid, and it was really stupid, and it was really, really, really stupid.
So my thoughts are, it was stupid, but it was probably fun. So
Yeah. I do like when that Russian guy's like, "He beat your time, boss." You know,
So
like,
funny.
that part.
so funny. You know, it just
Dude.
pissed them off even worse.
But yeah, like I'll be straight with you. Like it is stupid, and it's got that terrible CGI of the thing coming down and banging up against the eye.
I think that might have been the only practical shot in that whole sequence. To me, it looked like a miniature. I don't know that it was.
It's got to be, isn't it?
The CGI is at its worst when he is like windsurfing or whatever.
Oh,
like, was the X Games?
Man, how did we not talk about that?
That is the best part about that. That's the only reason I give that a pass is because him wind snowboard surfing or whatever is awesome.
Man, that windsurfing, man, that was that. God,
I loved it.
It was bad, wasn't it?
I loved it. I thought it was the shit. James Bond shit.
Jonathan,
100%.
are we gonna have him on for Casino Royale?
I loved it. Y'all can go to hell.
I'm gonna be straight with you. That windsurfing sequence is like some of the most crazy mess I've ever seen in a Bond movie.
Crazy, cringy.
It reminds me of Treasure Planet. Like that's
fine. It can remind you of whatever the fuck you want it to. It does not belong in a Bond movie.
I loved it. So I'm here for it. That's my James Bond all day long.
All right.
Can we be done? Can we please be done?
We're almost done. We're almost done. All right. So,
anyway, God, dude.
Anyway, Bond and Halle Berry wind up, together with a bunch of diamonds, and this is how we leave the classic era with our hero getting off with a beautiful American NSA agent and a whole bucket load of diamonds.
What was you going to say, Colton?
One thing I don't like about this movie is that they have M use the virtual goggles for her, or not M, Moneypenny. They have her use the little virtual goggles for her thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the way the movie should have ended.
This is 2002, right? And we are to believe that they have got that entire training program in those glasses. It's 2024, and this is VR, folks. Okay?
Yeah.
And it does not look that great.
No.
Okay? So, all that's to say, the whole VR training sequence stuff, that's stupid too.
Well, I just think it's like it's a disservice to Moneypenny.
Yeah, it is.
They could have just ended the movie with them actually kissing like that, and it would have been fine.
Your takeaway is that it was a disservice to Moneypenny. That's all you got from that.
Yeah, just the fact that she would like stoop to that level.
Yeah, I agree.
She could easily bag James if she wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, if she really wanted to, she could.
Bond's horny all the time. Like, you just got to catch him at the right moment.
So,
yeah, which
I
is
want to say this.
Yeah.
So just last thoughts on Die Another Day. Guys, Die Another Day, like, it had a lot that it had to do, okay? It was the 40th anniversary of James Bond in cinema. It also was the 20th movie. It was also the first Bond movie of the new millennium.
Yeah.
There was like a lot that this movie had to do, and it also had to stand up against other more modern franchises. Go ahead.
I said you stop. You like pause when you said more, and I said competent.
But I mean, Die Another Day used to be literally my just dead last, like just the one that I just didn't like at all. And somehow, I mean, I wouldn't be putting this at top 5 material, but I mean, I wouldn't be putting it at the bottom. And I would say, and this, I know this is going to piss my wife off quite a bit, but I'd say this is better than No Time to Die. I would rather see it than No Time to Die.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But
I don't know. I just
one thing I do want y'all to understand is there is no James Bond movie that I do not like. I mean, I like all of them, even Never Say Never Again, Moonraker, the 1967 version of Casino Royale. I like them all. All right. So there's none that I don't like. I do love all of them because, hey, at the end of the day, that's my boy up there. You know what I mean?
You're right.
it's all of our boy. I think.
Yeah, most
I
definitely.
agree.
Any last words from y'all on Die Another Day?
It ain't great, but it's pretty damn good.
I came up with an analogy on the last episode that Colton seemed to like. How the Bond series was like Baskin Robbins, and there's all these flavors or whatever. This movie is pistachio flavored ice cream.
See,
Yeah.
I was thinking this movie would be like triple chocolate chip with extra fudge sauce.
Okay, yeah, too much chocolate.
Like
Sure.
everything
Yeah.
that you could throw on it. Is
Like
what I
way
thought.
too much
Put
chocolate.
some toothpaste on top.
Yes, everything, even the bad. Throw it on there. This is Die Another Day. This is
So,
2002, baby. This is what we do.
You mentioned that this movie come out around a couple of milestones. So, like, sure, there was a little pressure riding on this movie, I guess. So you would think that they would hire a competent director and competent writers, but no, they just, it's like they were just like, here you go, do whatever. Maybe it'll be good.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I must say this has been one of my favorite Bondcasts we've done.
I think this is my favorite.
Like, I've actually really enjoyed talking about
I
this.
have too. This was like, okay, if the only thing that ever came from this movie was this, then it gets bumped up a ranking.
So
Good.
the next time we will be on, we will be talking about a movie that is actually far better and a movie that is a masterpiece. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, I do think this next movie is by far the best of the Craig era, Casino Royale. And we will see Daniel Craig come in and take over the franchise and add several layers of depth to Bond's character. Basically, Daniel Craig gets to do what Pierce Brosnan always wanted to do and become, because if you watch interviews, Pierce Brosnan wanted to do more with the character.
Yeah, even in this movie, I heard that he wanted to go back to basics. He wanted to go back to the Fleming novels and go back to how Bond was in the books. And the filmmakers had something different in mind, clearly.
Most definitely.
A bit.
But all right, one more thing that I will give this movie credit for. Had it not for this movie being so bad and making the filmmakers want to just say to hell with it and start completely over, we would not have Casino Royale. So good on this movie for that.
I'm going to leave you with this. And I know Colton ain't said his piece on this yet, but I'm going to say this, guys. Pardon the interruption, Colton. But if Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson wanted to go back to, let's just say the next Bond movie, we just start at the end of Die Another Day, and we just keep on doing the classic era, I'd be down for it.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe tone it down just.
Yeah, tone it down, but get back to the more episodic.
Just go back to that timeline and that way of doing things.
Yes.
Disregard continuity.
Yes.
Sure.
I'd be down for it. Colton, what's your last words on this movie?
So my final thoughts are if Casino Royale is James Bond's Batman Begins, that makes this Batman and Robin,
Yep.
and it does a way better job than Batman and Robin.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've watched quite a bit of YouTube videos of Bond. I mean, guys, I watch Bond YouTubers all the time, especially when I'm driving. I listen to them. I have never heard a review of Die Another Day that was as positive as ours was. Like ever have I listened to one where the people were not downing the movie the whole time. You know what I mean? So
I guess that's why I'm here. That's
People are gonna shit all in the comment section of this one.
but anyway, guys, well next
I'll say
week.
one more thing.
What?
Mojito.
Hey, mojito?
That another day.
But anyway, guys, all right, well, I'm going to we will all live to die another day, and I will see you in the next podcast. And if you made it this far, like and subscribe. All right.
Share the podcast.
Like, let's get to 200 subscribers this month, eh?
I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Yep.
Anyway, I will see you boys later. Thank you so much for being on here, and thank you so much for listening or watching.
Don't pull it out yet. Don't pull it out yet.
Later, boys. No, we're not doing the song, Caleb. Later, boys.
Bye.